range from the graph of a piecewise function. So we are given a graph here. Let's make it maybe a little bit larger. Here, let's see, a little bit larger. So let's start with the domain, and that is going to be, I would use red. The domain of this function is going to be the x values. So what we do is along the x-axis, we can kind of see where do we have the graph, what x values are producing y values. So we can see this first one at -1 is an x value here, and then we get x values all the way along until we get to 3, the x value of 3. Again, we're always looking at x values. And for range, we're going to look at y values. And then at 3, it's an open circle, so it's 3 itself is not included. And then we get over here, we see on the graph at when x is 4, we've got a y value, and then we will get y values all the way along here till we get to 5. At 5, there is a y value, and it is also included. And so we see for our interval notation for the x, we've got a -1 going all the way to 3. The 3 is not included, the -1 is included, and everything in between is included. And then there's this break here. For that, we use the union. And that just says, okay, we take a break, and then we got another part of the graph. We're going to go from 4 until 5. 4 is included, and 5 is included, and we go all the way between. So here is our domain in interval notation. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that one in there. So we've got the bracket and the parentheses, -1 to 3, and then we need to use the union, and then we're going to have brackets on both sides, so that's this one. And it's important, if it's a whole value. If we don't include this 4, we don't have exactly this function, right? Because 4 is included in this. We need the bracket, not a parentheses. So these in mathematics, symbols are very important, right? They give you this difference. Now for the range, we're really doing the same thing. And in the old days, before computers, we had these in books. What I would do is I would just turn it sideways, and we would basically be doing the same thing, but we're going to do it with the y values, okay? So starting from the bottom, the negative, because we always go from smallest to largest, and so that means when we're going for the range, we're going from bottom to top. When we did the domain we did from left to right. That's how we looked. Okay, so bottom to top. So for the range, we've got a y value here at x equals -1, but now we're looking at the y values, and the intervals will be what are the y values. Oops, I was going to start at -2, but y's, you got to be a little careful. You got to look over. We've got a y value down as far as -3. So we're going to start at -3. It is included because it's solid here, so that's included. We keep going up, so all of these y values are included. Now there's this one's this y value of 0 is not included here, but it's included there. So actually, we just keep going, right? We keep seeing y values until we get to this one here, which is +1, and that is an included y value. So the graph in the y direction goes from y equals -3 to y equals +1, and everything in between is included in that. And so for the range, we include -3 all the way up to +1, and 1 is included. Okay, so that's what our range is going to look like. We didn't have to do a break here because we actually in the y direction, and notice in the y direction we actually have 2 y values for many of these. It's not a one-to-one type function, as we'll study probably later. Well, not probably, we will. But anyway, that's our range. Is brackets on both sides, -3, -3 to +1. That's how we can do the range, using the number lines to put everything in order from smallest to largest.